If it's not better than factory and substantially better than factory, I don't want it.
So Alex, what do you do at KC Turbos?
I'm the customer service manager at KC Turbos, and basically, as soon as you call, I'm the one that answers the phone, or one of my employees does.
Nice. How long have you been answering the phones for?
3 years now. I left Ford and worked temporary at KC Turbos, and that was 3 years ago. So the temporary position ended up being quite longer than I thought.
Actually, that's how my first summer job started. When I was like 15, got a summer job at an auto shop, went away for school, came back, worked there every summer. Went away to school again, graduated, came back, worked there full time, and then COVID came, and then he closed down. So then I helped him close shop.
Yeah, I came here in COVID too. It just I got told by my service manager that back then, oh, you're safe as hell. Your job will never go away and stuff like that. And I just bought a new truck, and before I asked him, hey, how safe is my job? He told me, no problem, you can buy that truck, and I got fired a week later. So yeah,
Dude,
it sometimes sucks.
I remember the first time you told me that story, I was a little bit like, I just didn't even know what to say. That's a bunch of just...
Yeah, it was kind of kicking the nuts, to be honest, because I worked there for 7 years for the same company.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty rough, but oh well. Things worked out in my favor, big time.
So you've been here for 3 years, but you always been a diesel fan your whole life, or did you just get into it when you got here, or what was the deal?
Yes and no. I'm not from the U.S., so in Europe we have a lot more smaller diesel engines, and I had a bunch of diesels there. Then I came here and I saw one of those ginormous pickups, and my first thought was, oh, this is stupid. And then I had now 6 of them.
It's not a problem.
And it's just apparently, for some reason, I just love them. I test drove actually before I bought my current truck, which is 6-liter number 4. I drove a 2017 and I test drove it, and you know what? It's nice. They drive phenomenal. Everything was great, but it was not me. It didn't lack character.
Yeah.
And that I just like older trucks. I do not know why that rattly and all that some people hate. I just like it, and I actually sold that 2023 Corvette to buy a 6-liter.
Yeah. I think there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah, dude, there's definitely a lot wrong with me, but I just like 6-liters. I don't know why they have so much character in a good and bad way. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had 4.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie brings this up a lot because he's like, we try to help people the most we absolutely can, even when they don't run our stuff, you know?
Yep.
Because we've had probably countless people call in and talk to you like, hey, I want to buy your turbo. I think I need a turbo. And then you talk to them for 10 minutes like, oh, actually, you just have an EVP sensor. You just have something else. Like,
it feels really weird when a guy calls me and he describes the problems he has with this truck, and I ask him what turbo it is in, and often it is one of our competitors' turbo. And I tell him, I would love to sell you one of mine. It's not your turbo.
Sorry, man. Wish I could help. It's not.
And then now, everything you're describing sounds like, for example, an exhaust leak. Let's do this. Let's test this. Let's test this. And most of the time, people find it within a day or two. And they call me back, so, man, I really appreciate it. I would love to buy one of yours, but mine is fine. And I said, that's totally fine. I'm cool with that. In the end of the day, we're all car guys. We help other car guys. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
If you run one of my competitors' products, that's okay. I'm still going to help you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, you know, because it's like us and competitors, we like to, you know, debate and kind of talk shit to each other. But at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, we're really lucky to be in this industry because everyone's very kind.
We are. There's a couple people that talk trash.
Yeah.
There always will be a couple people out there. And I'm cool with talking trash to somebody's face.
Yeah.
But that's about it. That's the only time I want to have trash talk. Like, if I tell you what's wrong with your face right now, I will say that in front of you, and I will not wait until...
Yeah, until I walk away.
It's just messed up. We don't have it too much in our industry.
Yeah.
The people who do that are mostly not really in this industry. And that's about it. Otherwise, there's tons of good turbo manufacturers out. There's tons of good fuel systems, tons of good injectors. And and that's about it. You cannot really go wrong. I still stand behind it. I had one of our turbos before I worked here. I had my first stage one 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I will never buy anything else because I see how the development is.
Yeah.
I see how much time Charlie puts into that. It is just ridiculous. And then people ask, oh, did you ever try that? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We tried every combination you can imagine. There's a reason why this is on the market, because it's the best what technology lets us do right now.
Yeah.
Period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I stand 100% behind it. For example, our Stage 2 dual ball bearing will outspool everything else on the market. In the same size, it will outspool it. Period. I 100% stand behind that.
Yeah. And even just since I've been here, you know, I'll just see Charlie, and then if he's like, you know, doing R&D, I won't see him for 3 days. And then every once in a while I'll go talk to Tony in the shop and be like, hey, what's going on? And then there's Charlie just on the dyno on his laptop. He's like, Tony, I don't know. This one isn't as good. Can you do turbo swap? Let's try prototype, whatever, number 2 or 3 or 5.
I mean, it's just ridiculous that our dyno runs literally for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
For sometimes weeks on end, it's just dyno. And then after finally something passes on the dyno to Charlie's liking or anything like that, now we start testing street usage.
Yeah, and then it's got to get employee seal of approval. Like Tyler is a great example.
Yep.
Prototyping, put something on his truck, and he's like, well, it's pretty good. And Tyler's like, oh, man. And then he does a bunch more research, tries another one, and then puts it on his truck. And Tyler's like, oh, my gosh, this is the best turbo I've ever had on a 7.3 ever. So it's like, it's just so cool.
Why is the 2020 turbo not out yet? Because we're road testing forever.
Yeah.
If I bring something on the market, or if Charlie brings something on the market, let's say, you know it's good. It's done. We're just done with it. Yeah. Then let's evolve from that. But to just say, oh, I'm going to bring a 2020 turbo on the market because a bunch of people will buy it, it's not how we work. If it's not better than factory, and substantially better than factory, I don't want it.
Yeah. It feels dishonest to sell something that isn't an upgrade. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you get a little more power on the top end, but you lose everything that's good about a diesel.
If you lose your drivability, you don't need that truck. You don't need that turbo. Turbo sizing is the biggest issue there. It's like guys on 6.7s, oh, it's a heavy tow rig, and we're going to put a stage 3 on it. It's like, just don't.
Please don't. Yeah.
But bigger is not always better. Charlie says it a million times, and I learned it the hardest way. Bigger is not always better. Your truck will be useless, and you will hate it.
Yeah.
And you will hate the turbo. And you will hate me.
Yeah.
And I will hate that.
That's the next thing. Yeah. Yeah. Get customers that are dead set on their stage 3, and if you can't talk them out of it and they buy it anyway, it's like...
It happens a lot that people call in and say, oh, I want to buy a stage 3. Okay, what do you do with a truck? Oh, it's a hotshot truck. You don't want a stage 3. I have that all the time. Literally every day. People call me and want to buy a stage 3. I could be a dick and sell everyone a stage 3 and be like, well, it's the most expensive turbo. Sure, I'm going to sell it to you. Yeah. It makes no sense. They ain't going to like it. And then I just have unhappy customers, and no, I don't like that. I don't have unhappy customers.
Yeah.
I love my customers. I love all of our customers.
Yeah.
I actually, and Charlie's the same way. We talk at 11 o'clock at night. When I'm already in bed, he sees somebody being mad on Facebook.
Yep.
He calls me at 11 o'clock or at midnight. I answer the phone, and now I get 3 hours worth of sleep, and am here early in the morning and trying to fix the situation, and it's bad.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
We actually care. And yeah, it's just how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, my phone, I got a notification on my phone when I was at dinner last night, and it was Charlie sent me an email. I was like, oh, crap. Because he never sends me an email. So I was like, oh, well, I really got to check it out. Read through it, and I was like, okay, we can figure this out. But let's do it tomorrow.
And
never ending.
Because Charlie never not works.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. In the end, he's the owner of the company.
Yeah.
He always works. He's working 24/7, and that's why I take that so much to heart if something doesn't work right, or I have an unhappy customer, because Charlie's not only my boss, he's a friend of mine. I knew him before I worked here, and I always liked Charlie a lot. That's his legacy. That's a company he built out of his garage. I'm going to make sure I'm going to give 110% when I go to work and make sure his reputation stays on top where it should be. Because in the end of the day, I know a lot of guys that build turbos, and then I don't know a lot of people that spend as much time on R&D and actually try to develop something. Of course, you can be a guy and say, oh yeah, I'm going to put a billet wheel in it, and I'm going to do a fancy turbine wheel, and I'm going to stamp made in USA on it, because I built it. Well, I have to rant a little bit now. All those, 100% made in USA. Oh, really? You have a foundry in your backyard? Do you have that? Do you have a $3 million lathe that you require to make a billet wheel smooth and not linear cuts, a perfect billet wheel? Oh, you have a flow bench too, don't you? Oh, where's your dyno and where are your 20 trucks at that you tested those on? Yeah. You build your turbos.
Yeah.
You design them.
Yeah.
You build in USA. Sure, buddy.
Yeah. More like assembled.
And it's just the ignorance of people.
Yeah.
We have bearings out of Germany. We have bearings out of Japan.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Germany makes the best bearings. Japan makes the best bearings. There's nothing wrong with it. Try to find a foundry to cast you something.
Yeah.
With all the environmental restrictions and all that, try to find a good foundry that will take a job. It's impossible.
Exactly. Charlie mentioned to me kind of in passing as we were talking about something else. He's like, I think we were talking about different sizes of turbos and why some people think, going to stage 2 on stock sticks that's what they think a good truck drives like. But in reality, they probably just haven't driven one that's properly set up yet. They don't have the experience driving something that's, you have the power where you need it when you need it. Instead of just, that's my experience. So, and I liked how that was. They just don't know any better.
You're not wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, you see 3 stages. And this is a psychological thing. You go on our website, you see there's a 6-liter stage 1, 2, and 3. Well, I don't want to be the guy that has the 1.
Stage.
It doesn't matter if it's the best one and you cannot make, you don't have enough fuel for the stage 2. Everybody buys a stage 2. It doesn't matter if the truck stock sticks or not. It's the simple fact that you don't want to have the smallest one.
Yep. Yeah. And if you do that, and if you're one of those people, which stage 2 should you buy?
If you want a stage 2, just do a ball bearing. In the end of the day, it's going to spool like a stage 1. And then when you grow into injectors, you're going to have enough power.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing anyway. If you plan on upgrading your injectors, there's nothing wrong with running a stage 2 on stock sticks. Get proper tuning, and it's going to run fine. Yeah. You're not using it to its full potential. That's about it. You're just not using the turbo like you should. You can down the road. So I encourage people, before you buy two of mine, go a little bit bigger if it fits your application. If you don't tow stupid heavy across the country, you're going to be fine. And this is a big thing, comes down to elevation. The guy in Colorado will not like that, but the guy in Florida is going to love it.
Yeah. Man, just makes you think, there's a lot of stuff that comes into play when picking a turbo like that. Because I get that a lot of, people messaging in, hey, I have stock injectors and I can't really afford to do everything all at once, but I want to make a bunch of horsepower later, but I want to do a turbo first because my turbo just failed. It's all stock, whatever. Am I okay to get a stage 3? I'm like, well, no, but if you want to go to big turbo, just like you said, stage 2, dual ball bearing runs awesome on stock injectors.
Well, the thing is, when you go, when you get that question, can I run a stage 3 on the stock injectors? Absolutely, the turbo doesn't care. Can you drive it that way? Can you be in the higher RPM range to make sure that turbo spools the entire time, or are you going to hate it?
Yeah.
You're probably going to hate it. How much power do you really want? I want 700. Now you have to be realistic with me. How much power do you really want? And then normally, well, my friend has this and I want to be faster than my friend. Your friend is not putting out 800 horsepower down, no matter what he says. You're going to be fine. Get a stage 2. Later, you're going to get injectors. You're going to be happy. And guess what? Every single one of those calls back and says the same thing. Oh, God, yeah, it's way better. It's way quicker. I know.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a reason. And I did all the mistakes. I did everything wrong in my past.
Yeah.
Just believe me, everything you can mess up, I already messed up. I broke 5 Rs. I melted down Cummins. I did all of it. In the end of the day, I learned out of my experience. And when somebody asks me a question, I'm not trying to sell them something. I'm going to give them my honest opinion.
Yeah.
If you're having a bad idea, I will tell the customer it's a bad idea. And I sometimes will not sell them something.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it over phone. If you want to do it on the website, I cannot deny you, but I'm not selling it over to you on the phone. You want a stage 3 and you just want to hot rod it, or you call me and you say, hey, how do I roll coal? I will hang up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Oh, yeah. It's all about managing expectations.
Managing expectations is a good thing, yeah. Yeah. I want to tow with my stage 3, and it's exactly that. It's not going to work. The bigger the turbo, the later the RPM, the later the power kicks in the RPM band.
Mm-hmm.
That is normal. There is nothing we can do against that. We can help us as much as we can through different designs of the compressor wheel, through different designs of the turbine wheel, different bearings, all that. Yeah, we can help it as much as we can, but there is no end all, do all, end all.
Yeah, there's no magic turbo.
No, there isn't. It's called supercharger.
Yeah, twin charger, right?
Yep, seen it. Just like I told you about myself, I blow everything up, and that's how I know what to tell people.
All right, Alex. So where do we go from here? And if I got a problem, how do I get a hold of you?
You just call KC Turbos 480-688-7160, or you shoot us an email at sales@kcturbos, or you can even message on it on Facebook, which is honestly not preferred.
Yeah.
Because it's just hard to me to get a hold of anything or track something down. So send us an email, give us a call. Easiest way.
That's all, folks.